Hi, welcome to DistinctWorlds. I'm Chris.
I'm Jen.
A little bit about ourselves. I started becoming more of a Disney file in the late 90s, became an annual pass holder around the same point in time. That's when I met Jen.
And my story is about a year. I was about a year and a half old. My parents went to Disneyland for the first time. They tried to leave me home. Didn't happen. And then every year since then, I've been going to Disney. And around 89 is when I first went to Disney World. So I've always been a Disneyland kid with occasional forays out to the Orlando park.
Okay. A little bit what this vlog is going to be is what transpired to come about with this upcoming trip of ours. We are going to be out in Walt Disney World from May 7th to the 21st. We're going to be staying at the Wilderness Lodge Villas. We are DVC members, so when we do our planning, we tend to plan around our points available, what we can do or not do, and then go from there. There have been occasional times that we've actually not used our points and have actually paid to stay on property, but that's been very rare. So let's start with when this all started. Based upon a little recent research, we actually started planning this almost a year ago to the day. Today is April 10th, I think.
Something like that.
And I went back and did some history, and I created our Disney vacation account on August 12th. I mean, April 12th, sorry. I've got August locked in my head. Anyways, at that point in time in April last year, we started figuring out where we wanted to go, or when we wanted to go, and what we wanted to do. The plan was we were going to be out there for two reasons: Flower and Garden and Star Wars weekends. Remember, this is April last year. In August of last year, Disney announced Star Wars weekends was over. So it kind of threw my plans up in the air. We had some stuff set up already on an itinerary and said, hey, these weekends that we had locked off are now becoming available. So that's how we did this. And then I sat down and kind of planned things out, going, hey, these are the two resorts we want to probably stay at. We are home members at both Bay Lake Towers and the Wilderness Lodge Villas. The plan was to try to stay all in one resort. It was either going to be all Bay Lake or all Wilderness Lodge. I like Wilderness Lodge. It's quiet. It's just kind of, it's part of the Magic Kingdom loop without being part of the monorail loop. You can get there, to the Magic Kingdom via a boat. Great.
We like the boats.
And it's the quiet. That was my big thing for it, was how quiet it is over there typically. Bay Lake Towers is great because you can get to the Magic Kingdom via boat or monorail. Or you can just walk.
We like walking.
If you want to be lazy, you take a boat or a monorail. Just walk.
But the monorail ride can be kind of nice,
It goes the other way, but hey, whatever.
Just take the long
Anyways,
route.
so what goes into our planning? First off, for us, it's about when we're going to be at Walt Disney World. What special events are happening. This time around, we're going to be there for Flower and Garden. Typically, when we're there, it is for Food and Wine Festival. So we plan according to, our noshing days at these events. And then we also look at restaurants that are on property ones that we enjoyed in the past and want to go to again. And then there are those restaurants that we never had a chance to try before and want to give a shot to. So Jen actually goes about and creates these little 3x5 cards.
And then I start shuffling the deck, and we use the Disney food blog, and we use allears.net to look at menus of places we've never gone to before to determine offhand if that is where we want to go. I eat or will eat just about anywhere. However, the mister is sometimes a little more particular. So sometimes that will determine whether or not we will eat at a certain place, unless I really, really want to go there. And then he's just like, okay, then we're going to go. And so then I start the initial shuffle of the want to do's, maybes, and the maybe in the future, or yeah, no. And then do the initial shuffle there on our different days, trying to make sure we hit each park at least once, and then kind of just cycle through. We don't park hop too much, just because just partially timing, but honestly it doesn't, we kind of work, it's kind of like why we stay in one place for the duration of our trips, which a lot of times 2 weeks, is because we don't like moving resorts partway through. So that's why sometimes laziness, transportation issues, whatever, that's why we sometimes don't always park hop, but we will go to resorts and stuff for dinner and whatnot. So it really kind of depends.
Yeah. An interesting bit was we were actually at the Disneyland Hotel this past September for a weekend, and we were up on the concierge level, and one afternoon, was it morning, afternoon, either one, and we seriously had the entire spread on a table, and cast members were trying to figure out what we were doing, and we
some of the other people just visiting, like staying there, were like, what are y'all doing?
it's a bad game of poker, you know. It's seriously, it's Walt Disney World dining poker.
But it was really interesting because a lot of people had been there or hadn't been there, and so like for those who hadn't been there, we're answering questions, and for those who had been there, it was like we were comparing notes, and they were giving recommendations, we were giving recommendations, so it was a great conversation starter, even though it wasn't something we had planned. We just didn't want to be in our room at that point, and it was a quiet time at the concierge level at that point, so we could spread out a little bit more on this one table, and so it was kind of nice.
Once we get, the general restaurants down, then we start to sort by days, based upon, where we plan on, or not where we plan on being, but we try to sort, like, I want to put, be our guest with Ohana, because we can do be our guest breakfast at the Magic Kingdom, play in the park for a bit, and then take a boat over to the Grand Floridian Polynesian.
It's okay. It's okay. He gets confused when we're at Disneyland, and he calls New Orleans Square Liberty Square.
I do. It's what's the other mistake I make? Riverbell Terrace?
Yeah, and you call it Liberty Tree.
Yeah. I'm really bad. I mix the two parts. Anyways, once we figure out, then we start to, map out our schedule. We have a Word document. We update every trip, except for one. We won't go into that right now. Where we will go in, we'll put in our days, include our flight, the day we fly out, the day we arrive, and our last day as well. So we've got everything on there. It's got our breakfast, lunch, dinner. If we don't have breakfast, no big deal, and we just leave it blank. But we put in all of our information into a lovely 16-page document that allows us to quickly access, change things around as needed.
It's basically an itinerary. We include park hours, early entry, if like say during an event like Food and Wine or for Flower and Garden, as there are guest bands playing, we include who's playing whatever days, Also, we will put down what things are down for refurbishment, because then that way you're not like, I wanted to ride this, and then of course it's closed when you get there. So we always try to look at the refurb list to see what's closed, what could be affected, so that way we could try to plan accordingly while we're there.
I really wanted to ride Soarin' out there.
We have soaring out here.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
You're silly.
All right.
Take you on Owen's Energy Adventure 5 times.
Oh, not again. Okay. So, once we kind of get a roundabout idea of what we want to do, we've already got our hotel or our resort booked out for the most part by this point in time. So we just wait for that 180 days mark to hit. Once that 180 days hits, then I'm online and I try to book out as much as I can for that first 10 days. If it's available, great. If it's not available, then I kind of look at the schedule going, okay, hey, we wanted to do this. It's not available this day, but it might be available later on. Like day 2, I think we had something. It was one of the things, and I can't remember what it was, and I really wanted to get this one table. In fact, I know what it was now. It was Victoria and Albert's. We wanted to eat in Queen Victoria's room.
Yeah, I believe that's what it is. We've never been in that room. We've been to Victoria and Albert's most of our trips, but in the main dining room, except for our first trip, we went
to the chef's table.
We had the chef's table, which was amazing.
But I wanted this particular dining room because we'd never eaten there. The day that I chose, it wasn't available. So I had to start planning. I had to start jumping back a little bit, trying to see where I was in regards to the Magic Kingdom. It's like, did I have something here? Okay, great. Let's try for this date. No, okay, let's take this back a little further and go for this date. I think we're going on the 11th, I think. I think it's that first Tuesday that we're there. But it was a week before when I actually wanted to do it. Because I wanted to be there actually for her birthday. It didn't work out that way.
It happens.
But,
this is where you have to be flexible and just know that, okay, well, we didn't get this ideally, but we were able to substitute it with this. So, I mean, that's like with any vacation you're planning, where you have to know not just before your trip and, of course, especially during your trip, but, just planning, sometimes you have to have that flexibility of being able to do things. And not to say, like, closer to trip, things won't change, but sometimes when you're planning this far out initially, you may have to make that compromise.
Correct. Once we got those reservations set, it was just kind of a sit back and wait until we could do our fast pass. Once the fast pass hit, then we're like, okay, we've got to plan this out and make sure that none of our fast passes coincided with any of our dining reservations. We had a fast pass for the Fantasy Parade. What's it called?
I don't remember.
Okay, the daytime parade for the Magic Kingdom. Yeah, we're bad. We've never seen it yet. We've seen bits and pieces on everyone else's vlogs.
And here's the sad thing: we've been out there 2 trips where we could have seen it. It's just whatever life had, it wasn't always drinking. We just never made it, and that's fine, because we knew it wasn't necessarily going to be going away anytime soon, because it was a new parade at that point. And I think partially for us, we were trying to let okay, it's a new parade, we do want to see it, but we also know, like, the huge crowds that we'd be going to go see it. So it's just kind of like, did we also kind of want to battle that? How far in advance did we want to sit and wait for the parade? So things like that. So I think this trip we are finally just going to, like, all right, let's sit down and watch the parade, because seriously, I want to see the dragon.
I know there's this huge controversy about people using their fast passes for parades and fireworks. For me personally, I don't mind using a fast pass for it.
There's controversy? Sorry, I hadn't heard about this.
There is controversy. Don't read the comments section of different blogs. It's stupid. Anyways, we, I, none of our fast passes repeat. I have one Expedition Everest for the entire trip. I have one, mine train for the entire trip. Any other time I want to ride that, I'll stand in line. I don't care. But I wanted to use some of our fast passes for things we've never done before, or we only plan on doing once. Beauty and the Beast, I've never seen. We're doing Phantasmic. We're actually doing the Phantasmic dining package.
Because he's never seen it,
I've
apparently.
never
out there,
seen
so...
it there. I'm told it's going to make me miss Disneyland's a lot more. Again, another debate I'm not going to get into right now. But with that, it's...
We're going on Cali River Rapids for the first time, for as many times that I've been out there and he's been out there. Neither of us have ever been on it, so we're going to bite that bullet and okay, suck it up, let's go on it. I guess because for me, I'm not really into water rides. I know that sounds really strange, especially for Florida, but I always tell people I'm an earth sign, I'm not a water sign. So
exactly. This is my 7th trip to Walt Disney World, and yeah, again, I've never ridden that. I've done Splash Mountain out there. I've done Splash Mountain out here. I've done both Haunted Mansions, both Space Mountains. I like ours better. I've done both. What else is there? There's Pooh. I like Walt Disney World Pooh. The Big Thunder. I like our Big Thunder. Your guys' is backwards.
I don't mind their Big Thunder out there. It's just one of those things. There are things I love about Disneyland and things I love about Walt Disney World, and I don't know. They're like apples and oranges. Yes, they're both fruits, but they're so different in some ways that I don't know. I sometimes don't like to compare.
Anyways, we're gonna get back on the subject. Get off these tangents. Once we have, I had to actually manipulate some of our fast passes even after I did the initial fast passes, because I was seeing, or she noticed that we were too close on, for one thing, to get to an actual dining reservation, which was the afternoon tea, if I remember right.
Yeah,
I think it was the parade and then afternoon tea, and it was too close that she didn't think that we were going to make it. So it was just, okay, let's play with this over here. Okay, I can't do it on this day. Okay, wait, I've got a third day with fast passes in the Magic Kingdom. Let's play with that. So that's about where that came in. At this point in time, we are 27 days out.
27 to 26.
Either way, however many days, we're out from being at the World. Everything is pretty much locked in. There's a couple things that I'm still kind of working on in the background. It's back there behind Stitch.
Supposedly he wants to surprise me for my birthday. Go figure.
I don't know what I'm going to do. But I think I've got something. And as we are preparing for this trip, we also do things. We are developing lists for things that we need to be sure to pack. We've got an electronics array that's just going to be crazy. Our clothes and toiletries and all that other stuff. So we do have to make lists to make sure we don't forget something, because inevitably we're going to forget something, and it's probably going to be my pants.
I may have I did the laundry out of habit. I put everything away. I thought he was going to go check to make sure everything was packed, and he didn't. So he got out to Florida. He didn't have any pants. But look, he got some new clothes that weekend. Or that trip. So
I did. So
that was kind of an unexpected expenditure, but it worked out in its own weird way. So
yeah. So that was nice. It was definitely a learning experience for both of us.
Well, I think that's the first time we've ever really taken a trip together, so it's not like
maybe
we were used to having to remember, like for you or for me, like we're so used to packing separately at that point. So it was different.
Yeah. And I'm probably going to do at least one or two other vlogs. Basically go a little more into detail on different processes and steps that we take planning for this trip and future trips. We are actually currently looking at two small trips and maybe a longer trip next year during the different Walt Disney World half marathons. I refuse to do the full marathon.
You'll do it someday.
I will crawl it with a beer in my hand. And that's about it. We do want to say thanks to the several other Disney vlogs that are out there.
See You Real Soon, which is the first one I started watching, and then he got sucked into it. So Joe and Ashley, just so fun to watch. And then from there, we've watched other vlogs. We really enjoy Crispy S'mores. Ellie, I don't remember what the name of her vlog is. Ellie Stedman. We watched Spoonful of Sugar. There's a lot of British vlogs we're watching, apparently. There are some American ones we're starting to watch, but I can't remember the names of half of those other than See You Real Soon. So, Tim the Tracker, I
Tim
think.
Tracker, I think.
Yeah, and then I don't know what some of the other ones are.
Sorry. We're still trying to figure out who everyone is. She keeps going, hey, we're gonna do the Walt Disney World tags. I'm going, no one's tagged us, so why am I going to do something if no one's tagged me?
I don't know. I usually start games and I'm like, tag, you're it. And then, no tag backs, but, whatever.
We do want to say a couple things before we sign off. If you happen to be out there at the Walt Disney World property, while we are there, reach out to us. We can be reached via Instagram at
distinct_worlds.
Or via Twitter at
DistinctWorlds.
I'm going to work on a Facebook page that will probably be Distinct Worlds as well. Or you can comment on there. You can meet up with us. If you happen to see us in the parks, seriously, come up, say hi. We saw you on your Disney vlog. We won't shy away from you. We'll probably do a selfie going, hey.
Unless you're camera shy or something, in which case,
If you want to, meet up for adult beverages, we are open to that as well. We are very open to the bars and lounges that are across the Walt Disney World property.
And if you do not drink an adult beverage, that's fine too.
Have a soda.
Yeah, exactly. There are plenty of things at Walt Disney World that are non-alcoholic related and quite tasty.
I'll buy your soda. I just won't buy your churros.
What? Churros? There aren't that many churro carts at Walt Disney World.
I refuse to buy everyone a round of churros.
He has been called that guy, the guy who's going to buy everybody churros at the Monsters, Inc. Laugh Fuller at least twice so far. I'm still waiting for my churro.
But yeah, we do enjoy our adult beverages. Right now, I am enjoying I want my HTV, an Imperial Citra Pale Ale by Oddside Ales out of, where are they out of? Grand Haven, Michigan. So a shout out to Oddside Ales for keeping me hydrated-ish with your very dehydrating hops. That's it.
Quick disclaimer. The Distinct Worlds Instagram and Twitter are also my personal feeds, so you will see things that are non-Disney related. You don't have to agree with, obviously, or disagree with everything I say, because sometimes I do post personal opinions, political or otherwise. Not often, but every now and then. And of course, I post up articles which I think are of interest. You might not. Go ahead and ignore those. Also, I must put a disclaimer that I am an employee of the Walt Disney Company, so my opinions are my own and not those of my employer. So you can ask what I do, but I reserve the right not to tell you.
Alright, that's about it. If you enjoyed this vlog, And be sure to hit subscribe down below. We're going to try to keep updated on this.
Once a
While
week.
probably once a week. We actually might do once every 2 weeks initially.
There will be mistakes and learnings.
There will be mistakes. I'm trying to do these video edits on 2 different video editing software programs. As you can see right here, there's a microphone because the camera's mic was actually really poor when we did this initially. Let's see. That's about it. So I think the next one is actually going to be me going into detail, and then probably the next one after that will be
Whatever. Oh, you.
will be I'm going to be attending the Disney's California Adventure Food and Wine Festival on May 1st. A friend of ours, Chef
Greg Daniels.
Greg Daniels of the Haven Gastropub will be actually guest demoing on the main stage that day. So I'll be there to watch, support, and record. So that's about it.
Yep.
All right. Have a great day.